Jesus, like just trying to get the documents, like when they're trying to get the Epstein files, like the state of New York, one of the district attorneys was hiding, they were hiding documents that
Alleged ex-trafficking victim is expected to testify here today that Sean Combs used lies, drugs, and threats to force her into freakoffs. After the jury hears more from a different woman who claims Combs hoisted her over that balcony.
Just happened on a Saturday. Diddy's attorneys have filed for another mistrial. They are claiming, these are their claims, that the government knew that Cassie was lying in her testimony.
What's going to happen, I think?
well, Diddy's going to be in jail for the rest of his life.
Day 18 of the Diddy trial just ended, and things are getting wild. Explosive audio of Diddy has dropped, and it's all over the internet. The tapes back up shocking claims of serious sexual abuse that have people shook. Joe Rogan isn't holding back. He's spilling everything, and it's making Diddy look real bad. But that's not even the craziest part. Diddy's legal team just filed for a mistrial, saying Cassie lied in her testimony. Now that's a bold move. And guess who's back on the stand? Victim 3, Jane. She allegedly broke down crying while explaining what Diddy made her do during those so-called freak-offs. This is next level disturbing. Let's get into all the twisted details.
I think there's like a sickness that people have when they have power, like extreme power, and then they, well, what else can I do? What else can I do? What else is what else is taboo? What else is forbidden? Like all this Diddy shit that's coming out. Like
I was just gonna say, doesn't that sound topical?
Jesus Christ! The first day of the trial, did you pay attention to any of that stuff? I looked at it for like 10 minutes this morning, and I was like, I gotta stop. I can't look at this.
Diddy's actions are straight up disturbing, and the stuff coming out about him and those high-powered elites in his circle is hard to stomach. According to the reports, they were running twisted setups that pushed women into messed up situations, all just to flex control. These powerful players seem obsessed with domination and breaking people down. Cassie revealed that Diddy would just sit back in the corner, pulling all the strings like a puppet master. He'd even tell the male escorts exactly what to do and where to finish. Every little move was under his control. And if Cassie ever stepped out of line or said something he didn't like, he'd snap, throwing her around like she meant nothing. Diddy didn't treat her like a human being, more like something he owned.
If evil is real, what is it about us that makes us want to deny the possibility that there's some nefarious force that is in human beings, that influences human beings? It's not as simple as like some people are bad, some people are good. No, maybe evil is a real element that you have to fight in life.
Victim 3, who used to date Diddy and is using the name Jane in court, broke down in tears on the stand today. She opened up about the dark stuff Diddy allegedly made her go through, and it's seriously messed up. Jane claimed Diddy would make her be intimate with multiple men at once, just for his entertainment. And that's not all. He allegedly forced her to take several doses of ecstasy every night to keep her up and under his control.
The prosecutor played an audio recording for the jury of a hotel night with a male prostitute Jane identified as Dawn. On the recording, Jane and Dawn are looking for a condom, but Combs didn't allow it and can be heard saying, quote, "You're taking that expletive." Now, Jane testified, quote, "I just didn't want to disappoint my lover. He would be unhappy and wouldn't be satisfied with me." Jane went on to tearfully tell the jury about her birthday in 2023 when she said she was made to have sex with 3 different men in addition to Combs.
What makes this whole situation even darker is that Diddy's crew, the people who helped him, are still hiding in the shadows. It's clear he wasn't pulling this off alone. Flight logs reveal he was flying women all over the globe. But the big question is, who were they really being sent to?
It's like just trying to get the documents, like when they're trying to get the Epstein files, like they're the state of New York. One of the district attorneys was hiding, they were hiding documents that have forced them to get documents. I think there's so many powerful people that are on those lists. There's so many powerful people that went and partied. Air quotes, partied. And how many of them went to the Diddy parties? Have you been paying attention to the trial?
Oh, yeah.
Trials. Wild.
Some folks are calling Diddy the next Jeffrey Epstein, but there's one major difference. Diddy allegedly has tapes, and that might be why witnesses keep vanishing without a trace. This goes way deeper than anyone thought.
You know, how many guys were on video saying, "Ain't no party like a Diddy party"? How many people like openly talked about being there?
LeBron?
Yeah, how about Ashton Kutcher? All these people. Like, you guys all went. You didn't see nothing? You didn't see nothing?
Yeah.
Donnell.
Donnell went? Did he? Of course he did.
Donnell who?
Trying to defend himself.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Is he trying to defend himself right now?
It's pretty funny.
I got to call him up.
On a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, Joe laid it all out, step by step, breaking down what he says was Diddy's twisted setup.
I think Diddy was rogue or Diddy was like a Epstein type?
That's a
working
good
for
question.
somebody.
That's a good question. Well, it would be a
'Cause he had the
great way
juice
to,
on
to
lot of
compromise celebrities. Yeah. And get them to say whatever you want them to do, get them to do whatever projects you'd like them to do. And, you know,
There's a reason major Hollywood names kept showing up at these wild parties. These big celebs were allegedly there to make the younger artists feel safe, like everything was cool. But once you were inside, it was a trap. People were reportedly handed spiked drinks and pushed into doing things that could ruin their careers. The setup was cold and calculated.
if you're a bunch of other celebrities are there, you're like, oh, look, Bill Clinton's here. This is fine.
Yeah.
This is cool. Look at this. Like, Brad Pitt's here. Oh, this is cool. You don't even think there's anything wrong with being there. Meanwhile, you're getting drugged up and filmed, and then they're passing out punch. Have some punch, Aaron. And you have some punch, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm feeling really good. I just feel amazing. You're all mocked up. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. Probably a combination of things they give you.
And it's all being filmed.
So many horrific accusations, though, involving young singers, young, like, children.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's insane.
He makes R. Kelly look like a decent guy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
It is crazy. And meanwhile, the guy was like hanging out with Oprah, hanging out with Obama.
Jay-Z, everyone.
Everybody.
I'm sure the Clintons were there at some point.
Maybe Bill.
Why are witnesses suddenly vanishing without a trace? Way before the trial even kicked off, Joe pointed out that the raid on Diddy's mansion might have been a setup, not to find evidence, but to erase it. And now, just as things heat up, key witnesses who could have exposed Diddy's inner circle are disappearing one by one. You really think that's just a coincidence?
That
Girls.
yeah, that was one of the rumors, like the
Male
freakoff. So he would
gigolos.
hire the professional dicks to have sex with the girls, and I think he would watch. Allegedly, that's what was alleged. I think. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, and that's the other thing. Like, I wonder, like, is that just a power thing?
It's a Caligula thing.
What does that mean?
Caligula, like the emperor. So did you ever see that movie, Caligula?
No.
It's about just Roman empires being completely out of control. Caligula is like almost like
One of the witnesses, who's supposed to be under federal protection, just had her real identity leaked, despite a court order meant to keep her safe. That's terrifying. This isn't just about one music mogul's crimes anymore. This case is cracking open the rotten core of Hollywood. And now that truth's coming out, the darkness is striking back. Someone powerful is clearly pulling strings behind the scenes. And they're sending a message loud and clear. They're still in control.
You know, panicking in this moment in time. Like, are people stalking her on the internet, trying to figure out her identity? You know, she testified that she was a victim, essentially. There's rape shield laws that exist to try to protect people in her position. And so this is really getting very nerve-wracking probably for her, and just absurd for the courtroom.
If someone revealed her identity, is that a crime, Tyler?
No, it's not a crime if somebody revealed her identity.
The deeper this case goes, the messier it gets. Some folks are saying there's a reason Homeland Security showed up instead of the FBI. Like maybe certain names were too big to be exposed.
Dude, when Homeland Security invades your house,
You got problems.
with dudes with guns and body armor. There's
Someone said that they weren't there to take stuff; they were there to delete everything. Real people were in there.
oh,
Like
that's
the same
funny.
thing with Epstein.
Oh, that's funny. That's fun. Of course. There's layers upon layers. When you get into these fucking conspiracy theories, man, they never end. They never end. There's just layers upon layers upon layers.
It's fun to talk about.
It is fun to talk.
So this is an explosive allegation that on its face, I don't know if I necessarily disagree with. If they are bringing in evidence of uncharged conduct, wouldn't the defense have an opportunity to investigate it and challenge it? It seems like they're making a point. So if this evidence is allowed in, there is a chance this could delay the trial significantly. We all know Combs wants to go to trial, but how can he properly defend himself against this in just a few weeks?
Diddy's victims felt completely trapped, like there was no escape. He didn't just control their careers, he had a grip on every part of their lives, even threatening their families if they stepped out of line. One of the brave witnesses, going by the name Mia, testified that Diddy straight up brainwashed her. She said he made her believe that if she ever went to the cops, he'd end her life. That's how deep his control ran.
A former personal assistant for Sean Diddy Combs returned to the stand Monday after accusing the rap mogul of physical abuse and sexual assault. Testifying under the pseudonym Mia to protect her privacy, she alleges that Combs groped and raped her. She told the jury she didn't speak up because she, quote, would have been silenced and would have lost everything. On cross-examination, defense attorney Brian Steele tried to undermine Mia's account, insinuating she lied about the abuse and was after Combs' money.
Cassie's friend, Brianna Bunga, dropped a bombshell in court. She testified that Sean Diddy Combs once held her over the edge of a 17th floor apartment balcony. That's terrifying. And it didn't stop there. She said she actually saw him throw a knife at Cassie. Brianna told the court she witnessed Cassie bruised and in pain multiple times, but she stayed quiet out of fear. Diddy had everyone around him believing he was untouchable. He bragged about having serious political connections, convincing them that if anyone tried to report him, nothing would happen to him. But Cassie would be the one to pay the price. The fear he spread was real and calculated.
Jane's testimony will follow the cross-examination of Brianna Bungolan, known as Bana, who described years of drug use with her friend Cassie Ventura.
Cassie, all the way back!
And she testified Ventura FaceTimed her before the premiere of her movie The Perfect Match.
I want to try something new.
What did you see? Prosecutors asked. Her black eye, Bungolan said. I was a little quiet, and I remember saying, I'm sorry. Bungolan testified Combs once hoisted her over this balcony after barging into Ventura's apartment on the 17th floor.
Bana, she's a friend of Cassie Ventura, who sued Combs in 2024 for allegedly groping her and dangling her over a balcony. She testified about this incident. So Cassie Ventura testified about this particular incident, testifying under an immunity order granted by the judge. So yes, Brianna is under immunity here, immunity order. She got on the stand earlier and she invoked the fifth.
Up to now, the only insider officially named in court is Diddy's chief of staff, Christian Courtroom, who's been described as his Ghislaine Maxwell. That comparison says it all. Courtroom allegedly had receipts on her phone, evidence showing Diddy was paying off people to make key evidence disappear. And let's not forget, Diddy had ties to powerful figures like New York Mayor Eric Adams. He also had deep connections with certain federal agents, which may explain how he kept dodging arrest for so long. The protection around him ran deep.
Former Chief of Staff Christina Coram had evidence found in her phone that was seized. Today, we heard the testimony from Eddie Garcia, who was a security guard at the Intercontinental Hotel. And he said that Christina Coram and Diddy reached out to him multiple times to try to get possession of that video of Diddy and Cassie Ventura, which he later claimed that him and his manager made this video disappear for Diddy and they were paid $100,000.
Eddie Garcia, the head of security at the hotel where the alleged assault went down, dropped major info in court. He testified that both Diddy and Christian Coram pressured him to sign an NDA just to stay quiet about what he saw. Garcia said they were trying hard to wipe out the video showing Diddy assaulting Cassie. They offered $100,000 to split among the hotel security staff if they'd help cover it up. He admitted he signed the NDA, which demanded total silence and the destruction of key evidence. That's a full-on cover-up move.
Garcia told the jury in Combs' federal trial that Puff said if that video ever got out, it would ruin his career. He testified that Diddy promised to, quote, take care of him if he could only find a way to get that video. And so, Eddie Garcia who was promised immunity to tell the truth in court, reached out to his boss, who agreed to sell the video for $50,000.
There's a real possibility this whole trial could get tossed out. Diddy's legal team just filed for a mistrial, and if the judge gives them the green light, Diddy could walk free. His defense is now claiming that federal prosecutors use false or misleading evidence, especially when it comes to the explosive claim that Diddy allegedly dangled Brianna Blonde off a balcony. If the court buys that argument, everything could unravel fast. This could flip the entire case on its head.
So the defense is arguing that the prosecutors knew that Cassie did not see Diddy dangling Blonde off the balcony, and yet they proceeded to ask her multiple questions about what she saw that night. They put in their motion for a mistrial. This is their last sentence. Quote, accordingly, the court should grant a mistrial based on prosecutorial misconduct.
Victims are finally speaking out, witnesses keep disappearing, and the big names behind the scenes are still hiding in plain sight. At this point, the real question isn't just if Diddy's going down, it's how many others he might take with him. Will justice finally catch up, or will the powerful keep sweeping the truth under the rug? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this is the end for Diddy, or will his connections save him yet again? Make sure to like, subscribe, and smash that bell so you don't miss what comes next. Because this scandal is only getting deeper. See you in the next one.